What's going on, guys? My name is Ashley and I'm very excited to bring to you my first YouTube channel. This is Ep1. This is Season 1, Episode 1 with Ipswich Town. Welcome back, guys, and for my first YouTube series I will be playing as my hometown club, born and bred Ipswich Town FC. Certainly for my first YouTube series I couldn't think of a better team to start with than the team I support and the team I'm passionate about, and I hope the passion comes across in the video. As you can see, we are on Saturday the 4th of August 2018, the first day of the new Sky Bet Championship season, where we welcome Blackburn to Portman Road for what is sure to be a great contest. Blackburn got promoted last season from the League One and certainly are not going to be pushovers this year, and today we will certainly not be underestimating them. Before we kick off the game, let's check out pre-season and see what's been going on. Pre-season, as you can see, we've had 6 friendlies. 6 friendlies this year apparently is enough to get 22 players or more match fit and match sharp, which is great because certainly in previous editions I've found I've had to do 8 to 10 friendlies just to get at least 2 whole squads fully fit for the start of the year. Certainly that's how I like to start my league campaign, so I've got a whole selection of 22 players just in case of injuries, and obviously to take into consideration rotation which will happen during the season. Our first game was at Portman Road against Hadley, a nearby club. This obviously was not a very difficult position, and as you can see we won 5-0. The goal scorers were Caden Jackson, Conor McKendry, Flynn Downs, Andre Dazelle and Idris El Mazouni. If we take a look in the game we can see just how we dominated. As you can see, 36 shots to their 1, 16 on target and 68% possession. Clearly this was expected against such a small club, but this is a great way to get morale up and certainly get the tactical familiarity and the team cohesion up without losing games, and then of course having an effect on morale. So as you can see, 5-0 winners. Conor McKendry, Flynn Downs, Andre Dazelle and Idris El Mazouni, all products of the Youth Academy, something which is going to be a feature of this save, where I will be putting a lot of time into improving our own homegrown players, and certainly they will be getting a lot of minutes this season. During the summer Paul has brought in a lot of players and certainly I rate them, but unfortunately they're not homegrown, so I've tried to get them out of the club, trying to sell them, get some money for them, because clearly they're not going to play enough games if I want to play the youth players. So as time goes on and they're complaining about playing, it's going to cause problems, so I've tried to sell them on. Some of them I have, some of them I haven't, so we'll get into that in a bit. So the next pre-season friendly was away to Hendon. We won 4-0. Aaron Drynan, Ben Falami and Jonathan Walters with the goals. Again we dominated proceedings, not as much as the previous game. Certainly you'd expect a bigger scoreline against such a small club, but this is just for pre-seasons, always for fitness, so we don't look into it too much. Again, this is a young squad. This was my second side starting today. My first side started the previous game. So the second team started this game, and the first team come off the bench with 20 minutes remaining just to keep players fresh and get everyone fit. The next game was a 3-3 away draw to MK Dons at the Stadium MK. This was an interesting affair. We had some trial players playing today, J. Emmanuel Thomas and Lewis Fabiano on the score sheet, players who obviously are very good, but in the end didn't make the cut, and as you'll see on the transfers we didn't sign them. Darren Bent, also a notable name on the trial list, who played today but didn't play very well. Next game was Woodbridge away, 3-0, the last of the smaller sides to be played. Lewis Fabiano and Darren Bent scored all 3 goals. Darren Bent come off the bench, done well, but this was the only game he really made an effect on. Next game, Aberdeen at home. The last 2 games I want to be more difficult opposition, certainly to test our side and see what we could be capable of this season. Unfortunately we lost 2-1. We started off well, but in the end I don't know what happened, we just deteriorated basically, and Aberdeen we ended up winning the game in the second half. Certainly the stats show that it was a fairly even contest. A team of Aberdeen's calibre, certainly in the Scottish Premiership, we shouldn't be embarrassed by that scoreline. The final friendly was a 1-0 win over Aberdeen away at Easter Road in Edinburgh. Conor McHenry scored the winning goal on 78 minutes. As you can see from the stats, this time we did dominate. I was very pleased with the result. Again, you can see we had some trial players here. Lewis Fabiano started, Darren Bent come on. This was because we did get a couple of injuries pre-season. So that is the end of pre-season. Let's now run over to transfers and see what's been going on. As you can see, transfers out. Grant Ward been sold for 2.3 million to Middlesbrough. Grant Ward, certainly, his attributes are very good, and certainly at this level he's a very good player, but unfortunately he doesn't fit into our tactics. We're playing with inside forwards, which we'll get onto in a minute. But as you can see, he's predominantly a winger, but we're not playing with wingers. And of course I want to bring from my younger players, so Grant Ward was fortunately being able to show the door, and we got 2.3 million, which increased the funds, and of course the wage budget has increased, so that's great. Freddie Sears off the wage budget also, a 1.3 million signing to Sunderland. Freddie Sears, certainly as an inside forward, is very good, but again we want to have more youth players coming through, so we had to make room. Freddie Sears has been sold. That's another player off the wage budget. Teddy Bishop was the last out. He's gone out on loan. He's just come back from an injury. Unfortunately for Teddy Bishop, he's had some very, very injury-ridden years now. He's played 19 games. I don't remember him playing 19 games. That's a lot. But certainly he's had some injuries recently, which has halted his progression. So we've loaned him out to get him some game time. Players coming in, as you can see, these are some of Paul Hurst's signings. Caden Jackson in for 1.6 million. John Nolan in for 1.3 million. Ellis Harrison in for 3/4 million. Edwards and Nunciala and Donatian and Walt was also other signings that Paul Hurst brought in. The one signing we brought in is Joe Walsh, a left-footed centre-back from MK Dons for just under $500,000. As you can see from his attributes, certainly he's not the most outstanding centre-back for this level, but being a left foot, I like to have a left foot on the left side of defence just to balance the team out. He's got a good personality, and his attributes, as I was about to say, they're not overly great, but certainly they're not poor either. They're very well rounded, and certainly I think he's a player we can rely on to come in for rotation and certainly to cover for injuries. Staff ins and outs. As you can see, there have been a lot of movement in the staff. We had a lot of staff leaving just because their attributes weren't up to scratch, and we've had a lot come in. Certainly there's a few more we need to look at getting in, but we've done as much as we want to right now. Let's take a quick look at the finances. So after the transfers ins and outs, that has left our overall balance looking at a healthy 5 million, which we did start on about 2 million if I remember correctly. We're now at 5 million. Transfer budget has gone up to 2.4 million. And the wage budget, we've still got 30,000 a week to spend, which I don't plan on spending, if I'm honest. If we look at the projection, we can see that we are predicted to finish minus 3 million by the end of the season. It's not very good. Hopefully, if we can win a couple of cup games and have a nice, decent finish in the league, then we can hopefully stay in the black. That's our aim. Board expectations this season, we are expected to finish mid-table. Certainly, this is something I think is achievable. If not, I think we could finish a bit higher, but we'll see how things go. English FA Cup, 4th round. Again, we'll see how it goes. It depends if we get in the 3rd round. We certainly won't be prioritising the cup games this year. Carabao Cup, 3rd round is our expectation. We have drawn Crawley at home in the 1st round. Certainly a game I believe is winnable. One of the new features this season is of course tactics, the new tactics screen. I did want to make my own tactic for this save. I like normally having my free centre-back formation, 3-4-3, is what I normally like to go for. I've had a little play around, and I think for now I'm going to stick with the gegenpress. Certainly gegenpress is a style I like to try and replicate, and now we've got the new presets, which is fantastic. This is going to be our main tactic for the season. We've also got the gegenpress with the defensive midfielder for maybe tougher games, but we'll test things out and change things around and see which works best for which game. The 3rd tactic will be 4-1-2-3. or 4-on-4-1 DMY, sorry, control possession. This is maybe a tactic we'll use to see games out if we don't want to concede late on, or maybe if the energy's low and we just want to bring a tactic in which has got less intensity. So the squad for today: Bialkowski starts in goal. The big pole is in goal. The back four: Donatian, Chambers, Nsiala and Knudsen. The two holding midfielders will be Cole Scouse and Flynn Downs. Cole Scouse will be our ball-winning midfielder. Flynn Downs will be our box-to-box. Our attacking midfielders we have Conor McKendry, Andre Dezelle and Jonathan Walters. McKendry and Jonathan Walters playing as the inside forwards, with Andre Dezelle as the attacking midfielder, and up front Ben Falami. On the bench, Nuson and Joe Walsh, John Nolan, Idris El Mazouni, Armando Dobra, Aaron Drinan, Ellis Harrison and Jack Lancaster. As you can see, we have got some young players on the side. Of course, Flynn Downs, Conor McKendry, Andre Dezelle, Ben Falami, Idris Mazouni, Dobra, Drinan and Lancaster, all products of our youth academy. As I've said, this is certainly going to be a feature of this save, where a lot of these younger players will be getting a lot of minutes. So although we're predicted to finish, or expected to finish mid-table, I think we definitely should do it, and we could possibly win promotion. But let's not rush it. There's not a massive rush. Let's build this season and maybe push for promotion next year. As you can see in the reserves, we've got Danny Rowe, Gwion Edwards, Emir Hughes, Caden Jackson, Kenlock, Wright, Webber, Clements, Crowe and Cotter. Crowe, Edwards, Hughes and Jackson all picked up injuries during pre-season. Emir Hughes and Danny Rowe started with injuries, and they'll still come back to fitness. We've let them be available for the under 23s for 45 minutes just to get them up to fitness slowly so they don't pick up another injury. Harry Wright, Webber, Clements, Crowe and Cotter are all again products of the Youth Academy, and I expect to see these guys play plenty of minutes this season. If we take a look at the Sky Bet Championship media prediction table, we can see that we are predicted to finish just above the relegation zone. Certainly it's a bit harsh and comparable to our board, then obviously they're both thinking different things. Our opposition today, Blackburn Rovers, are predicted to finish 15th, which kind of backs up what I was saying, that there won't be no pushovers this year. Certainly putting us down for 21st, let's prove them wrong. Starting lineups for today, obviously we have seen our starting lineup. Blackburn's starting lineup it looks good. Certainly I'm not familiar with all the players. I know Adam Armstrong, Casey Palmer, Conway and Harrison Reid will be definitely big players this season, especially Mulgrew. Having Bradley Dacko injured is a massive plus for us, as he would have been pulling the strings for Blackburn. Team talk for today, we will start off with calmly saying just go out there and enjoy yourselves today. We want to have these players playing with no pressure and just to play and express themselves, so hopefully this team talk will pay off. They all listen keenly, one seemed relaxed. Now, just to back this up, I will also passionately tell all the players that I do have faith, just in case they think I'm a bit of a wet wipe. Look to gain confidence, seemed relaxed, looked happy. He's even got no negatives, that's good. End team talk and let's go. So we kick off at Portland Road. For now, we will be starting with extended highlights on 2D Classics, slightly faster, and we're playing replays of the goals behind the goal. Certainly going forward, I would like to do comprehensive highlights for the games. But please guys, let me know what you think. If you think we should stick to extended or maybe just do key highlights. I know a lot of people like to see the 3D as much as possible, but I am playing on Imac, so I hope you can appreciate that the graphics will not be great. So we will be playing with the 2D Classic today. As Donatian whips in, John Walters as a goal kick, yeah. So we've started off the game well, 3 shots and 76% possession. It's only early days, so of course we can't judge. Yeah, as Blackburn hit the post, counting our chickens there. Conway with the corner, whips it in, headed out, smashed back towards them. Scouse is there, safe. Scouse is going to be our marshal in centre midfield today. Certainly Luke Chambers and Cole Scouse, both 32 years old now, coming to arguably the end of their careers. I hope to get at least 2 more seasons out of them. Certainly I'll be using them to try and pass on their professional personalities and certainly their determination and leadership traits to the younger players. John Walters inside to Falami. Downs, shot on target, Rag, safe hands. Getting close to half time and it's still 0-0. We've got a relatively young side, so we don't want to be expecting too much from them, but certainly we want to see them trying. And with 6 shots, 3 on target, and 55% possession, you can't argue that they're not playing well. They're getting stuck in. Dazelle loses possession. Armstrong going forward, whips it in. Conway back post, back in, cleared. Come on, you Blues. Come on. God, I'd love Falami to score today. I would love Falami to get on the score sheet. Justify my decision. Come on. So, maybe the pre-match team talk wasn't the way to go. I usually do assertive and I expect to win, but I thought I'd try something different. So, for half time, we will go back to the assertive style. Far from pleased. All look fired up. Brilliant. So let's again passionately just say, I have faith. We must get a bit repetitive, but it always works on Football Manager, so why fix what isn't broken? Yellow card of John Walters. Let's just quickly take him off hard tackling. Hopefully that will prolong his game. Every time I forget to change the tackling on yellow cards, I always end up getting a red card, so I always try to remember. Certainly I don't anticipate John Walters to see the whole game out. I'd like to bring on a couple of my younger subs to get them some time. We'll see how the game goes. Blackburn, they're certainly not out of the game. They're getting just many chances as us. Falami loses the ball in the corner. Blackburn win back possession. As you can see, 9 shots to their 4. Blackburn, they're creeping back into the game. It's not what we want to see. Donatian, why are you taking a throw in on the right hand side? The left hand side, sorry. Go back to the other side, you absolute divvy. Throw-ins. Goodness me. Right back, taking a throw-in on the left. That is just unheard of. Let's stick that back there. Confirm changes. Play. Down to the ball to Donatian. Oh, he must have scored. If he'd have scored, I'd have had to put him back on the left-hand throw-ins after that. Blimey. Come on, Town. Blackburn on the attack now. Burke running forward the ball, whips it in. Donatian clears. And as far as Williams. Burke out wide to Inyambi. Belushi forward, Knudsen clears. Harrison Reid. Lenihan. Palmer. Białkowski. The big pole and goal. Safe hands. Well, we're now reaching that point of the game where I'd usually make a sub. Scoose just over the bar. An hour played. We will be making our first sub. John Walters yellow card. 6.5, not very good. Kendry 6.3. I think we're going to change both our inside forwards. Certainly Downs and Dazelle will be my golden boys this year. They won't be coming off very often. So we'll bring on Aaron Joyner for McKendry, and Ellis Harrison will come on for John Walters. Team talk. Let's just passionately say we have faith. One seemed happy, one seemed deep in thought. Brilliant. Ellis Harrison, I'm guessing he's probably not very happy at the moment. I have tried to get rid of him, as well as John Nolan. I also tried to get rid of Jonas Knudsen, so I'll bring Miles Kenlock through. But unfortunately, no clubs want to bid for him at the moment, so I'm now going to try and make them happy again so they can stay. Let's get on with the rest of the game. Half an hour left. We've got to win. We can't start all these young players and then not win. We're going to look silly now, aren't we? Dazelle, ease off tackles. Okay, confirm changes. Harrow, oh blimey, off the bar. Donatian clears to Falami. Falami's not doing as well as he done in pre-season, which is disappointing to see. Certainly, we haven't got many other options at the moment anyway, with Caden Jackson injured at the moment, so I would have likely been starting with Falami regardless. Lenihan, Belushi, Mulgrew. Pointless highlight. 20 minutes remaining. Andre Dazelle's not having a very good game. Certainly is something to consider. I mean, if he's not playing well, it's certainly something to consider. Worth bringing on John Nolan, which I think I'm going to do. As much as I want to keep these young boys on, we also want to win. John Nolan is going to come on for the last 15 minutes. Come on, son. Come on and show me why you should stay with this side. John Nolan's worth $3 million. I'm trying to get rid of him to raise more funds, so maybe in January or maybe in the next season we can bring in some better younger prospects who fit into our tactics better. 10 minutes remaining, Blackburn are making their changes. 5 minutes remaining. It's not happening, is it? We're going to make one more throw of the dice. We're going to push these two up forward, like Vlami, target man, Harrison, advanced, joining. We'll keep for your arm pressing. And then we'll leave them. Maybe we'll push Scoot a bit higher up. John Nolan will change to attack, and playmaker Downs will change to deep line playmaker support. Let's see if, I ain't got a clue of tactics if I'm honest. This is just like having a bit of a play around. But let's see how that gets on. Let's go with that. Maybe chuck Nolan to this side of the attack, just so him and Fulani get on each other's toes. Right, confirm changes. If this works, then, well, I'll bow down to me, everyone, bow down. Come to the end of the game, extra time, Blackburn on the attack. Please don't score after that change, otherwise I'm going to look stupid. Corner kick Blackburn, closing stages of the game now, 2 minutes remaining, Mulgrew, Bell. Corner kick for Blackburn, going for it towards the end of the game. We've got a free kick now, deep in the Blackburn half. John Nolan on the free kick, whips it in, back post, Inciala. Corner kick the Town, come on you Blues. Nolan with the corner. Whips it in, straight to Mulgrew. Nolan, back. Finishes 0-0. What a great way to start the new series. Boring 0-0 draw. Well, that didn't go to plan, did it? No, certainly not. Far from pleased what I saw. We definitely need to be better than that if we're going to finish mid-table, let alone try and push for playoffs. What a laugh that is. So our next games after this, we've got Rotherham away in the league, we've got Crawley in the cup. Certainly I won't be live commenting these games. I think we'll come back for the Villa and Derby games. We'll do a double header against these two sides. Certainly, if we can get our first win in one of these games and stay unbeaten, that'll be a fantastic start to the season. So we will come back for these two games. I hope you guys enjoyed it. If you did, please leave a like, leave your comments, even negative comments. If you've got something bad to say, let me know. Like most managers and players say nowadays, you learn more from losing than you do winning. Certainly this is my first attempt, so I hope you can appreciate it. There will be some nerves. I'm not one of these people that can sit and talk and sound, you believe what I'm saying. Do you know what I mean? I'm not one of them sort of people. But hopefully as time goes on, my confidence will grow and my videos will certainly be a lot better.